Hey yo, and welcome back to The Letter. We're still playing as Marianne McCulloch. We're about to go back into the wine cellar, and stuff's about to go down. I'm not sure if this is going to be like the last little bit of Marianne's chapter, and we'll move on to Rebecca, but I hope she lives. Marianne, I like Marianne, but she's also mean. He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. I almost hope, a morbid and twisted sense, that Lorraine would just be standing there waiting for me. It would just be like her to joke about inappropriate meetings in dark, secluded areas. But just like the broken bottles and wine that was spilled on the ground before, no trace of her can be found.
Lorraine! Where are you, Lorraine?
She's dead. 6 feet under, like you said.
I miss you, you know?
You know? Only silence replies. Funny that when you want to find something, that's the time when you can't. The thought that I wouldn't be able to see her one last time fills me with such despair. Sure, it was crazy to come here willingly in the first place, but all I'm really looking for is closure. And if I can't see her, the least I can do is offer her a prayer. On the verge of tears, I kneel in the middle of the dark, damp wine cellar and put my hands together in prayer.
May God grant her eternal rest and...
That is when her laughter fills the air. It rings along the walls until it echoes in my head. And like a siren's song, it draws me in before it comes to a stop upon reaching a dead end.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
A secret entrance, although the idea in and of itself is insane, only makes this entire endeavor even more perilous. But I need to find a way to open it. Already I'm running my hands against the wall in order to find some sort of hidden switch. It didn't give when I tried to push it open before, and I doubt that it would give change anytime soon. But if there's a door, there's always a way to open it. Hopefully, without the need to break it down.
A shame I can't roll for perception checks in real life.
With such silly things to say out loud, though there is no amusement on my face, and I do check glancing at the mirror from the study.
Though a sanity check would be more fitting right now, wouldn't it?
You're cute. I mean, how long have I been down there? Here, searching for a switch on a hidden door. In order to find a dead girl, no less. It's only unreasonable. It's insane. At the point, they'll find me clawing at the walls, At this point, they'll find me clawing at the walls, using my nails to try and see whether there are any grooves or catches I might have missed. I'm surprised I haven't gone past the 10 minutes that was given to me, and that I'm not being hauled out of here. I don't want to bank on the chance that I have more time, although I know it's... I really shouldn't let these kinds of things bother me too much right now. If I don't continue looking, there's no point in me going down here. Dirt and rocks stick underneath my fingernails in my search, but there! A section of the wall about the size of my palm, and just as well hidden as the hollow wall is a switch, or a button rather.
Face it, Tigress. You've just hit the jackpot.
You just call yourself Tigress? The excitement I feel at the discovery finds me pressing it without a second thought. But when a click echoes the cellar and the hidden door creaks open, I stop. What should I do? This is a hard choice. I feel like going in there might get her killed. I also feel like staying might get her killed. And you went through so much effort to open the dang thing. Go in. No time like the present, eh? I have to hurry and... I turn around when there's a crash. In my haste, I bump into the mirror, making it fall to the ground and shattered into 100 pieces. And shit. I hope that isn't an original piece. I don't think my insurance will be able to cover it. I can probably find an imitation to replace it and... Oh, the door slams shut behind me and I nearly have a heart attack because of it. There's a sex dungeon! But when I see a much more visible lever on the other side, I calm down and shake my head. On the other side of it is a passageway, an underground tunnel that has me mystified for a mere moment until I realize what it holds. Cells closed off by heavy iron bars lined the sides. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy, though the years should have taken away most, if not all, of the stench. Of the foul smell of human and corpses lying, being left to rot. Breezes most likely coming from the other end of the passage. Those go through to thanks for that. That goes through it is thanks for that. If the place had been enclosed like a mausoleum, I imagine the odor would be fouler than it is now.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless these poor souls.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it though. The architecture of their time was magnificent. Human rights wasn't exactly a big thing back then. And if Ermagerd Mansion had a place like this hidden away, who knows what sort of heinous acts were done down here. There's no time to dwell on it further though. Not when. I'm gonna get her killed! Ah! Okay, hands on keyboard. A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotted flesh. And it's then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here?
Oh, you just think it's just there.
Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. Ah, shit. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep on running, no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sound of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that the thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle, up until I'm thrown to the side like some rag doll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is the only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
Did I get her killed? My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
That's not what we were seeing earlier. There's a flash of hope. She can help me, save me from that thing. But as I see her smile, the same one that thing have, I know that this isn't Lorraine. I'm a fool to think so in the first place. It never could have been her to begin with. The real Lorraine is dead. She looms over me, backing me further into the cell that I was thrown in.
What are you?
Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell. Towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut, and it just stands there staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed than shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens and being fooled by the image of Lorraine and the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea.
Oh.
Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. Then Suarez kid would panic.
Guys?
Hmm?
What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There in... Oh. Oh, Jesus. There in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life, and a video has played back on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying any attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of "help me" filled the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen, students judging by their St. Gritty uniforms. They were holding.
That letter.
And that thing, the woman, she... Hello? Interesting. Confusing. And that's Marianne's chapter. We're on to Rebecca. No more Ireland accent. Ah, she has an accent too. I forget what it is. This is how it began, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through the wide open windows, muffled laughters, and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, in the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon there will be a call, a crossing of the threshold into the unknown. Maybe we are off to some grand adventure, or driving into another gripping mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet, if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
Oh, Rebecca, you poor, poor thing. But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. The mild breeze and faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They're all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fantasies, and that's what these are. Merely passing through to occupy an idle mind while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life, I am one? Who knows? Ah, that guy's back! Hey! But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be, well...
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn, too passionate about the whole idea, probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers, I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, the students begin piling out the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as usually I prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same place either, since Isabella moved in next door. And if her fussing over a minor coat last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony, so long as she lives nearby. At that memory, my eyes automatically shift over the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes me as I reach for it.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
She just trying to take care of you. Mother Hen, she calls me, and then she does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I am to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute, then act like a responsible adult the next. But there is a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer, one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all. That big numpty. What's a numpty? If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she's always been. I do understand that part, loud and clear. It's just that I'd really rather not pass on another burden onto her.
Or become one myself.
Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from. Once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow, that, though, makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms in my lips when the screen lights up and an unknown caller flashes. Those are always annoying. It's always telemarketers. Or spam. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds once I do accept the call is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects. Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper. Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that suddenly descended either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and...
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
This is about Isabella, actually.
Oh, is this when she fell? She wastes no time in relaying everything. The details she provides are admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get the gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort of I'm expecting, though. I'm still worrying. Especially with the words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down the urge to demand answers right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she just said a bunch of excuses so she wouldn't get sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she is so going to hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
I miss you, Rose.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxborn. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but oh, you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you.
Isn't Ash there already?
We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
A faint hum of conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'll expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention inconvenient location in Luxembourg outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of a city? But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was so adamant, refusing my offer to help before, I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. It can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Very stubborn.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
Your staff? You have staff? Why can't they just take her home?
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has latched itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refused to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it, grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I hoped to step into today. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From a nearby room, melodies of a rehearsing band drift freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march to Edward Hall's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabel's okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. What are these words? For one reason or another, the single call of all possible things has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over quickly as possible. Possible. So much that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. You don't look like a this age student. When I look down at the set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms are wrapped around my waist like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face.
Buenas tardes, Miss Pink.
Miss Pink.
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Sorry, Miss Pink.
She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, all right? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
What's a jelly baby?
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth, as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise. She said it's for Tio Luke.
Tio Luke. Like Luke Wright? Are you related to Luke Wright? Wait. Did Hana say anything? Is Kylie a name Hana said before? Interesting.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal. Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Laughter spills free from my lips. The teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. But if both Suarez's kids are fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? Wait, are these Spanish kids? At any rate, there's nothing but well-behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Are we ever gonna see your brother? Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional old streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face falls immediately after those words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look. But as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be right now. But frankly, another child to look after. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pouts, as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up at my question, just like that. I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore.
Aw.
Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy. They could be good friends too! Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Makako?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore. Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly.
Who's Takako?
To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
After all, Isabella has always been the kind to hold a smile even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years and one will think it's enough time to know a person. But when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter, even when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Chicago says so. A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
Well, you have a bigger role to play in this, huh?
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down, falling
Why are you
down,
always singing that
falling
song?
down. London Bridge is falling
She doesn't look
down,
back or wait
my
for any sort of
fair
goodbye from
lady.
me. With a song and an extra spring in her step, she bounds across the corridor, as much spirit only a child her age can have. As if the conversation has never taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single thing in the world to worry about. Not long after she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree. Unbidden. Untroubled moments like this, I envy her. As I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper in the back of my mind wishes the same can be said to myself and my own worries. There we go. Luxembourg may be a small city, but it's no stranger to hellish rush hour traffic. But surprisingly, getting out of the city today proves more of a breeze than a hassle. A relief considered how none of my calls to Isabella have made it through. Either the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Both does nothing to ease the disquiet in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I am out of the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms overhead of me. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxembourg, the estates and the nearby Anselm village stands as a complete opposite. Living and breathing the songs of old, whispering of a once blooming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a palace I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself. If I could only knock some sense into these people!
Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, which isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting lectured from me. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out. And while they're heading out, it's about time I head out because I am out of time. You see what I did there? But, we're finally out of Marianne's chapter. I felt like I took forever with that one. Or maybe it was just a longer chapter. Zach's chapter was, I don't know. I feel like I could be getting through this a lot faster. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I post. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!